Back here in Anaheim, the Devils looking to make it a 2-winning streak end to their Western road trip, but unsuccessful as they fall on Sunday by a score of 4-1. Devils defeating LA by that same score on Saturday, but not able to find the winning touch against the Ducks on this Sunday afternoon. The Devils did not have any power plays yesterday, but one. They only had one power play today, and I'm not saying it was a kind of game that would draw a lot of penalties, but it's such an important arsenal for the Devils, who came in second in the NHL.
Yeah, is it just a coincidence? And that's what, the coaches will look at. Or is it the Devils? I don't know. I mean, I could see maybe tonight, but last night with 41 shots, you would have thought the Kings would have had to take something to prevent a shot or a goal. But, yeah, that's really interesting.
Well, the Devils failed on their one power play. They kept Anaheim off the board on their 2 power play attempts. So special teams not playing a role, but it was Anaheim with the victory. Let's check out some highlights as we await reaction from the Devils locker room. We heard an awful lot. We've read an awful lot. First time I've seen Beckett Seneca.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
You know what? I didn't see how shocked he was when he got picked 3rd overall, but that would be the look I think I would have. Like, he was dominant, and he's young, but if there's not a physical edge to your game, and I don't think there's a physical edge to the Devils game like they want, right? Well, that guy just roamed, and he was dominant. What do you have, 6 shots or more?
They've downgraded him by 1.
Okay, so he's had 5, but he had the puck all over the ice, and he's good, he's great, but I just thought Devils should be able to control him a little better, but he is a great pick, and young kid, the future here in Anaheim is going to be great for him and the fans watching, because he's exciting, isn't he?
He is, as Chico mentioned, 3rd overall pick in the 2024 draft. 5 shots on goal, 2 attempted and blocked, 3 missed the target. He had 4 giveaways, 2 takeaways in 15 minutes and 38 seconds of ice time. But it was that 19-year-old who gave the Anaheim Ducks the 1-0 lead. Puck looses, it bounces up in the air, comes to Cholowski, stops on cross ice. Nemitz comes cross ice centering, but it's picked off. And here comes Beckett Seneca. As a breakdown, Seneca moves in, shot, score! A breakdown on defense, and the rookie forward on the first shot of the game for Anaheim gives them a 1-0 lead. And the goal came at 4:13, his 4th goal of the season. Cutter Gauthier with the only assist. Anaheim in front again, first shot. Also, how did he get behind Nemitz? Cholowski tried, but he couldn't hold him off, and he's a big fella. 6'3", over 200 pounds. And then he was able to roof the shot, too.
Well, yeah, he shot it through the goaltender. And, Jake, I'm cutting Jake some slack here. He sees it's a rookie. He knows it's a rookie, 19-year-old. I'm gonna kind of move my hands and force him. But when Jake moved his hands forward, it allowed him, he did shoot it over the pad, but it went up under Jake's arm, through his armpit, and into the net. So I'm sure if Jake could do it again, he'd just stay tight and say, but maybe he thought, I can snooker this young guy. But it was the opposite way around.
There was no snookering going on the part of Devils goaltending on the Sunday afternoon. They're down 1-0. The Devils wind up getting the power play. They only had the one that I mentioned. And that came when Seneca was off for a hold. He held Jack Hughes off at 10-10.
That's right.
Devils have a power play. Again, it's part of their bread and butter, but not able to score. Fortunately, they weren't scored on. Dawson Mercer and Nico Hischier. Hughes for Mercer, back to Jack. I don't think that was the intended pass by Mercer. Breakaway short-handed. Terry in. Save, another save on the rebound by Allen.
Way to go, Jake. Way to go, buddy.
He'll like that.
Yeah.
Terry was the one with the follow-up as well. But what happened there? Mercer's trying to play it to the point. Jack's nearby. Dougie's nearby.
Yeah, you could talk about reads. That's part of confidence. You don't want to keep it too simple, but you got to be careful. How risky you are. And the Devils, I don't know about you, Matty. They just looked a little out of sync, even when they had that run early in the first period. It looked like they were connecting like we'd like. And what's interesting is because they won last night, but even last night with 41. With LA getting 41 shots, Devils were playing well defensively, but tonight it just wasn't going for them, and they had to almost be as good defensively tonight as they were in LA, and they unfortunately were not.
So Seneca had a breakaway, not a full clear shot. Jaloski was riding him a little bit, but he got ahead of the defense, and then Terry finds himself ahead of the fence shorthanded. So in the first period, a little lack of recognition on the part of the Devils. But Allen does his job and keeps it at 1-0. Lukas Dostal, who picked up the victory, his 5th of the season. He made a stop, a combination, Luke Hughes and Meyer, and he also got some luck. There was a puck at his skate, on his right skate.
Oh, yeah, it was lodged under there.
And what did he do?
Well, he twisted around.
Because he didn't know where it was.
No, he didn't know. So
Let me shoot it around. See, where is it? Oh, there it's going past the post.
Maybe that one play, man, he probably summed up more than any other the Devils having no puck luck. And, it's been like that recently. And, but I just want to say this. I don't know what the coaches will say to the players about the breakaways. I would like to break that down. Let's talk about this. Why? Why is that happening more than we'd like? It happened in San Jose, remember? So I don't know why, but it's just interesting that it's not something you want to repeat.
And I think an easy answer would be changing in pairs. Pesci's not here. Gaio takes up a lot of time, but that can't be the only reason.
No, you got all day to think about it.
Yeah.
Think about, okay, here's I'm playing with. Like Jack went on the offside, and he's been playing well, so that didn't affect him. I just don't know if it's just reads. People aren't backing up their teammates like they're hoping, and then they get caught. I don't know either. But when the Devils get home, they're going to have that solved.
Yeah, because they will face a team. Montreal will push the puck. They'll use their speed. They might get behind the defense. Then comes Pittsburgh, and I don't know. They've gotten off to a great start. Who knows what that's all about? And then the Islanders come to town, and they might not have the same speed, but Matthew Schaefer will be out there skating. Leading the rush from the blue line. So, it's something that has to be straightened out for sure. So the Devils kind of settled in and settled down, but not completely. And then there was a little bit of a breakdown, delayed penalty in effect, and it was 2-0. Lacombe out high. Spinning on Hischier. Lacombe protects, moves in deep, now behind the net, steps out far side. His pass intercepted by Dawson Mercer. Lacombe was looking for Vetrano, who checks Mercer in the far corner with 5:45 to go in the first. Devils trailing 1-0 on Beckett Seneca's goal. Almost a turnover by the Devils. There is one, they score. So Frank Vetrano, with his first goal of the season, there was a delayed penalty being called on Nico Hischier. The puck just got passed up the center of the ice. Now, that happens a lot more in today's game, not necessarily this specific game, but in the modern game. In your day, never pass the puck up the center of the ice.
Oh, you want to sit on the bench, pass it up the middle of the ice.
But that often is an escape route, but it was a hard pass that Nico had trouble handling, and then as it gets away from him, he hooks at Lacombe, and Jackson Lacombe makes an unbelievable diving pass, doesn't he?
He does. He dives on his belly, and as he's prone, he's not quite on the ice, he slaps the puck to his right. And who's standing there? Vetrano.
Yeah,
but he hasn't scored, so you shouldn't be worried about that, should you?
Well, no, and he roofed it, though. He sure looked like a guy who has a bunch of goals.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you wouldn't think it would be him that would bury that top shelf right under the crossbar. He made a gorgeous shot, and and that really was a downer, I think, for the Devils.
2-0 was the score at that point, and that score was taken into the intermission by the Anaheim Ducks. By the way, we'll hear from Brendan Dillon and from Jesper Bratt on today's loss in just a moment. But back to the highlights we would go. Devils with a chance to regroup in the intermission. Also, all right, they come out. Pretty good start in the second. They have some puck possession. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, this game became 3-0. And now it's Luke with it. Shovels it up, but not out. Kept alive by Mintyukov for McTavish in the corner. Skates behind the net. Looks to slide it to Seneca. Meyer deflected it to the far wall. Now Meyer steps into Trouba at the blue line, but he keeps it alive, and Anaheim scores from a sharp angle. The puck was played down to the corner, and Cutter Gauthier from the goal line beats Jake Allen. It's 3-0. You thought maybe he was trying to pass. There was a guy on the backside backside post, but then you looked at it again, and he was shooting.
He was shooting. Jake wasn't hugging the post. He had his pad down, if you're looking at him, on the right post, but his upper body wasn't there. So there was that room over the pad. And whether Gauthier saw it or he missed his pass, he was going for the wide open, not the wide open guy, the guy in the back door, but that one was a killer, Matty. It really was.
Made it 3-0 early in the second. A minute 54 in. Gauthier with his seventh. Jacob Trouba and Beckett Seneca with the assists. And it was a 3-0 lead. Timo Meyer was stopped by Dostal on a one-timer. Dostal stops Jack Hughes. Again, he was a star this afternoon. There's no question about it. Let's not lose sight of that, although the Devils could have done some things better, in terms of breakaways and things like that. You want breakaways? Let's see. We had one in the first. Seneca scores. We had one in the first. Terry, shorthanded, stopped twice. Well, we had one here in the third, and it was Jake Allen, once again, shining. Mason in the far corner. Tried to get it to the blue line. It's intercepted, and Vetrano, who has one of the 3 goals, backhands in.
John Gibson was in here with Detroit. He was here a long time. I could see, and no offense.
Turnover. Nemitz hands it off, and Kreider is robbed as he's broke in on Jake Allen. Now a chance for Terry with a shot blocked away. Oh, bad pass by Nemitz. He went one side to the other, and just inside the blue line, it was picked off. Still pressure. So back in the day, you would have sat if you passed up the middle. Now you can.
Yeah.
In this game, any day, you can't go cross-eyes. I'm thinking maybe Nemitz, because it was the short change.
Yeah.
And he didn't see Kreider. He has to, but he maybe didn't see him sneak off the bench.
Yeah,
I don't know if he did,
that makes
but
sense.
he could have. There was a Devil in the vicinity, but he never saw the puck. Kreider, fortunately, was not able to score.
Yeah. I don't know what Simon Nemitz was seeing, but afterwards I took a look at him on the bench. He's shaking his head. He knows it wasn't a play that you could make. Well, I can't say never, but I would say you don't want to do that now for about 20 games. Mm-hmm. Don't give it away like that for 20.
No.
Because if you do that consistently. But he hasn't. And it was kind of a flashback to last year. I haven't seen him do that. He's been very safe, very good. But, that anxiety we're talking about throughout the whole Devils seemingly was happening. And I think he looked over and he saw Jack Hughes way across the ice. But I think you're right. I don't think he saw a Kreider come off the bench. And so we'll give him that.
Yeah, and so, Allen, listen, if you make a mistake, the goalie's there, and he made the save, and then the follow-up was stopped by Jake Allen as well. So it's a 3-0 lead after 2. Into the third we would go, and the Devils made a bit of a push. Talk about turning points of games, and from the Devils side, if they had come back to win, we could think about a save Jake made against the post, and stopping Kreider on another breakaway, things like that would have given impetus to a Devils comeback. But in this case, this was pretty critical. The Devils have a scoring opportunity, and Lukas Dostal did his thing. Now here comes Fitchuk across line. He feeds on cross line. Slamico is denied.
Oh, that hurts.
Another big-time stop by Lukas Dostal. And here comes Kornitz in right. Pokes it in. Ross Johnson breaks in on a low backhand. And he sends it off the post. Wow. He was all alone.
From the blue line in.
Forgot about that. breakaway, another breakaway. It's amazing when you listen back and recall the opportunities. But, Johnston, Jake got a bit of his pad on it, and the puck hit off the post.
Yeah, and I think the coaches are going to address that. I mean, that's 5. We've been counting. We couldn't keep track of them. That's 5 breakaways. Well, that's not the Devils team, Matty. No way. But tonight, I have no answer. I don't know if the coach will address it, or maybe you just look at it on the tapes and then you get the boys together in a couple days and say, this breakaway stuff has got to stop.
For sure. So the Devils trying to mount a late comeback, had a scoring opportunity swept off the boards by Lukas Stahl. Finally, the Devils were able to score, and they wound up putting a lot of pressure on Anaheim in the end. We'll call this the play of the game. Brought to you by Prudential, the Devils' official financial services partner. In the right circle, near side, 5 seconds to go in the roughing minor to Dawson Mercer. McTavish with it, fires on cross side. Seneca is denied. What a save by Jake Allen. That was a 2-on-1 the other way. Mercer slides one, they score! Jack Hughes gets the Devils on the board. There's still time left. And keep in mind that robbery by Allen just before the Devils score. There was a backdoor pass on the power play because Mercer was off. What happened is Nico Hischier got checked by Harkins, Jansen Harkins, shoulder-to-shoulder hit near the board. He went crashing into the sideboard. Dawson Mercer called for roughing as he came to his captain's aid. Fortunately, Nico was okay. Power play for Anaheim. Beautiful backdoor pass, and Seneca's got, we've seen, pretty good hands.
Oh, yes,
but
yes.
Jake was able to get over there, and then as Mercer steps out of the box, he accepts the pass from Timo Meier, floats one to Jack Hughes. Beautiful pass, and Jack scores his 10th of the season. That was the play of the game brought to you by Prudential, the Devils' official financial services partner. And from then on, until the very late stages, it was a shooting gallery, but Stahl kept the puck out of the back of the net.
And the coaches pulled the goalie early, which I thought, okay. But then Stahl, who scored a open net goal that he shot into the net in San Diego with the Gulls, thought, I'm going to do this again. So he got it, and I thought, okay. But Nason blocks it, and then his stick's out of the way. And then there's 3 or 4 pucks bouncing around the crease, Matty. How the puck didn't go in. One shot was taken that hit the shaft of the Duck sticker. That would have been in. And it just was not meant to be for the New Jersey Devils tonight.
And eventually, Chris Kreider scored into an empty net at 18:06 for his 6th goal of the season, and that was the final goal. 4-1 Anaheim with the win. We promised you reaction from Brendan Dillon and Jesper Bratt. We'll hear shortly from Sheldon Keefe. Here's what Dillon had to say.
The first period in particular, it almost felt like, as a whole, self-inflicted wounds ended up in the back of the net, and the chances that you guys were having, you just couldn't break through as a team.
That's kind of the, hopefully, learning point we take is just self-inflicted. We're stubborn in the sense of not putting pucks behind, playing to our strength of using speed. A lot of teams, they know our offense comes from our skill and our ability to make plays. So when they take that away, and we continue to force it, turn the puck over, we make the other team look fast, and they're already a fast team to begin with. And when we play into that, we saw what happened. So I think turnovers were kind of the name of the game for us tonight, and we showed in the third period when we do play direct and we put pucks behind them and play to our strength like that, we're able to score some goals, and just obviously it was too late.
How frustrating can it be when you see your game, as a whole, as a team, come in these spurts, but not from that very beginning, right? Because you put yourself behind the 8 ball so fast.
Well, that's, again, positives to come out of this is we haven't, we didn't play on this road trip to the level we know we can, and for a full 60 minutes, doesn't matter the building, we've talked about it all year, not using excuses, back-to-backs, tough environments to play in, losing bodies. We got to deal with what we have, and we've shown at times we can. On this trip, it's just frustrating because I think there were games to be had there. Against teams that we wanted to measure ourselves. The Colorado game starts us off on the wrong foot, and then want to build. We obviously got a big 2 points yesterday in LA, but just frustrating.
You played so well at home. When you go home now, does that kind of reset everything?
Yeah, we enjoy playing at home. Another thing we talked about from the beginning of training camp is being a tough team to play at home, but it's a long ways to look from now. But in playoffs, you're going to have to play in tough environments against tough teams. So we want to train ourselves to be able to play in whatever environment, whatever kind of hand we've been dealt, injuries, wherever we're at. So it'll be nice to get home. It'll be nice for us to get some time, I think, because we got a couple of days off before we play again on Thursday to recharge the batteries, refresh, and have a good effort there.
Thanks, Kelly. Thank you.
Brendan Dillon, I think, with direct words, heartfelt words, and honest response to questions.
Well, he's down on the ice, and he sees it. He's not only seeing it, Matty, he's feeling it. And what he said, this road trip was not the way the Devils not only want to play, but have to play. And the way they were playing when they won 8 in a row, they've got to get back to that. And I think they will. But, like we say every game, we will see on the ice. The results will tell us if they did or not.
Talk is cheap, as they say. The Devils fall to 9-4-0, and they get ready for Montreal on Thursday. As Brendan Dillon mentioned, you ask a question, you'll get an honest answer from Jesper Bratt. He spoke with the media as well.
Brad, obviously it felt like in that first period, those two goals sort of come on self-inflicted wounds overall by team. Did it feel like that for you guys a little bit, where they capitalized on those very big moments where you guys still had a good period but couldn't?
Yeah. I think it went a little hand in hand in how our game went in San Jose. We knew what game it was going to be. They're a fast team. They're young. They're skilled. They take advantage of line rushes when you do mistakes with the puck. And we knew the game was going to be like that. And I think there was some sequences early on in the first period that we played really well. We showed exactly how this game was going to be for us. We played good. We got the puck down in their zone. And small couple mistakes, we started letting off the gas a little bit, and then they take advantage right away, and they got guys to knows how to put the puck in the net.
You mentioned sort of like the San Jose. Did it feel a lot like a similarity there? That should there be a concern that there's like maybe parallels?
I think we knew exactly what happened. I think that we just didn't take command of the game early enough. Coming off here in the times in the second period, but definitely third period, we just find our gear, and then so I think that was just for us that we need to find that fuel a little faster in the game and take control of the game, because when we take control of the game, we're a hard team to play against. So in this league, when it doesn't matter which team you're playing, chasing with a 1, 2, or 3 goal lead is a hard thing.
Where does that have to come from then?
No, I think it's just our mindset thing. The pre-scout and everything said exactly how this team was going to play. We knew what kind of game it was. I think it just comes to us to simplify it early on, especially on the back-to-back, to simplify the game a little bit and play to our strength, and then just build momentum over time.
This team's been playing so well at home. Is there something about being on the road that changes things, that the outlook changes?
Not really. They're a good team. They play fast, and it's like I said, they take advantage of your mistakes that you do, and they might have that energy from home crowd. I don't know. I think it's pretty similar playing both home and on the road, and they just played a little smarter than us today.
Is it frustrating to go home with just one win on this road trip? It seems it's been a tough place for you guys over the last couple of years.
You want to win every single game. There's no questions about it. I think we all go home motivated. We know that there's part of our game that can be a lot better, and I think that there's a lot of things during that LA game that I think that we take with us. And we're excited to come home, play in front of our own fans, and get some momentum there. And we're gonna obviously address the things that needs to be addressed, and we're gonna get better.
And that is Jesper Bratt speaking with the media, speaking with our Amanda Stein. And he had a chance, difference maker. He's 20 feet from the goal, wide open in the first period.
Yeah.
Could have made it 1-1. Mm-hmm. Lifts it, not even on goal. It goes over the crossbar, off the glass.
I know. He his accuracy, I always say that about a shot. It's not the velocity, it's the accuracy. And Jesper's been accurate sometimes, and we've seen that. But recently, he hasn't been as accurate. I don't know when he scored his last goal, Matty, but he had a chance. He had a chance tonight to bury a couple. And, you know, you're kind of hoping, and not you're counting on him because everybody misses. But, you know, he just didn't look. It just doesn't look like he has the feel. And, you know, so.
Well, 6 games now without a goal for Jesper Bratt, 18 games without a goal for Luke Hughes, none this season. And Nico Hischier, while he scored yesterday and got things going
on a tip.
Yeah, it's
not coming easy.
No, it's not coming easy for him. And just looking at the face-offs today, I mean, he was a little over 50%, but there have been times where he hasn't dominated, but he's also playing, you know, some really good players.
Well, he's always playing the top line.
He's always playing the top line, but if you want to be a top player, you got
yes.
and he's been more than fine over his career. But right now, it's not come easily for him.
No, because everybody's trying. Like you can never say Jesper Bratt doesn't try. But there is something that on-scene hand in hockey that comes into play and makes a difference between scoring or not scoring. And the players know it. But if you said to Jesper, are you feeling it? You're going to say, have you been watching? He's not. But then there'll be other times where he'll get it where I don't care what happens. It's like Gauthier shooting from the goal line. Like, I thought, why is he even shooting from there? Turns out to be a goal. But when you're feeling good, you just think good things are going to happen. And right now I think Jesper is struggling in the finish. The rest of it, he's doing well, but the finish, not what he wants.
Well, Gauthier with 2 points tonight now has 9 points in his last 6 games. Points in 6 straight. That's a career high.
Wow.
So you feel confident shooting from the corner. All right, we're gonna, we'll wrap up our look at today's loss with this. The final word belongs to the head coach, Sheldon Keefe.
Up there on Dawson Mercer, moment where he stood up for the captain, and you guys got a little bit of surge from that. Just maybe speak about that moment since we were in that thought.
Yeah, I thought it was a great response. It's the highlight of the game for me. Anytime you have that response, you want to see the team rally to get the kill, first of all, which we did, and then even better that Mercer himself comes out of the box and makes a big-time play.
Well, Sheldon, after the second period, I was kind of just watching this, and I was like, just didn't seem like the Devils. There was a lot of turnovers. Guys were falling down. I don't want to make an excuse, but is this a product of you guys playing your 8th game in 13 days against a team that only played 3 games in their last 8?
Well, I mean, that's a factor. There's no question. I mean, but that's part of the NHL, and that's what you get at different points in the schedule. You got to try to manage your way through it. I didn't feel like we were ourselves here today. They certainly felt a lot quicker and even more skilled and talented than us today in terms of how they moved the puck and the plays they made. So, we'll see. We're going to get home now. We'll get some time. We'll get back and readjusted to the time zone and don't play till Thursday. So we got a little bit of a chance to take a breath and get the guys some rest. And then we'll see where we're at, because certainly, we don't like much about what happened there in this road trip here. Injuries are a factor, fatigue's a factor for sure, but you can only use that for so long. We got to get back to work.
Of course. I would like to think that Jake Allen maybe had a couple plays he would have wanted back, but he really kept this team in it up until the end. What can you just say about his rebound performance from San Jose?
Yeah, I mean, we could really use the save on the first one, and Jake's been so good for us all year that's a tough one. We've seen the impact of the early goals on this trip and how that you go from what I thought was a pretty good start. The first couple of shifts were good, and even after the goal, we had some good shifts. So that's tough to be chasing the game with all those factors we just talked about, the fatigue and the schedule and all those sorts of things. So, but Jake himself he's a true pro, and he battled the end. They could have really got away on us with the score being what it was, with the quality of chances we were giving up. It's fatigue's a factor for those guys as well.
When you sort of see these moments in the game where you guys do have these surge, whether it's we were just talking about with the Dawson Mercer and then after that Jock goal, is it frustrating at times that you can't see that build, from the early get-go and maintain?
Yeah, I don't know if frustrating is the right word. But I did mention it to our team. We showed that there's a reserve tank in there. Mm-hmm. You can tap into it. You've got a little more to give. You got to convince yourself of it. As I say, that's part of why I think giving up the first goal and early, it's a gut punch. You're trying to get going. You want to have a good day here to finish the road trip, and then you're down again early. So we got to figure that out and not give up that chance and that goal. And then you never quite know how it goes because, like I said, I didn't mind our start, and then we just kind of fizzled out from there. Partially, I thought Anaheim was quicker than us here today, and that was a real factor.
Thanks, Sheldon.
And that is Devils head coach Sheldon Keefe concluding his post-game news conference, courtesy of MSG Networks, and we thank them for their contributions. It's good to hear from the coach and find out what he thinks about a performance. He mentioned injuries. No Connor Brown, no Brett Pesce, no Cody Glass, going way back, no Evgeny Dadonov. So there are players who are missing from this lineup. I know you can't use it as an excuse, but it starts to have an effect, I think.
Well, it could. Granlund was out. Gudas was out for them. Strome. If we won, it would be, guys have to step up.
Good point.
But no, and I only say that many for the types of play. If they're just getting overwhelmed in their own end. But the breakaways have got nothing to do. Why did they shooting themselves in the foot with all those breakaways? And because other parts of the game they were good. He is right. What really crushed them were blowing up like you talked about. I'm not going to never he's just won, but throwing that puck across. You can't ever do that. Why are we blowing up like that? And the coaches will look at it and figure it out. We got a good bunch of guys that'll help each other. But what'd you think about the response when he sure got hit?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was good. I mean, Mercer went right at Harkins.
Yeah.
There wasn't much that was going to happen. Harkins was down on the ice eventually, and no real punches were thrown. I think it was, an emotional response on the part of Dawson, and appropriate because it was a borderline dirty hit. It was close to the sideboards. It was shoulder to shoulder. Was Nico turned just a little bit? Maybe. I think it's kind of a hockey hit, but in a dangerous area. But you don't know what's going to happen. So, yeah, I think he says, all right, you can't do that to our captain,
But what almost it also shows, Maddie, where can you think of one big hit that we've thrown? I'm just saying it doesn't have to be huge, but whatever's going on, I mean, there's a couple things, but if you want to win in this league, especially in the playoffs, you've got to be more physical. Mm-hmm. And the Devils have to add some of that physical grit, and that's part of being tough to play against. Mm-hmm. So that's what I mean. And that's what we love about hockey. That's why you practice. That's why you watch video. That's why you're talking a lot in the locker room. It's a cyclical thing that you think, well, once you got it going, you should never lose it. But you do. And right now, the Devils got to say, we got to get back to some of that. And I think this road trip showed that they didn't have enough of it. And we've talked about all the other aspects of why they got in trouble too, but I would just like to see a little more smack and grit in the Devils game.
Yeah, that would be nice to see, and that can spark all of a sudden a little offense and energy and emotion, and all that hopefully will be on display on Thursday when the Devils return to action to take on Montreal, a game that you'll hear on the Devils Hockey Network.